The incredible moment at our 10-year anniversary gala that transformed my life forever. In the heart of Willow Creek, the community center glimmered under twinkling lights, a beacon of hope for many. As Julia stood at the entrance, she felt a swirl of emotions rubble each beat of her heart. This gala, meant to celebrate connection and family, hung around her neck like a precious medal, a chance to share her story. Little did she know, it would be the scene of a life-altering moment that would echo through the small town forever. At 32, Julia was no stranger to hardship. Working long shifts at the local diner, she juggled the roles of mother and provider with tireless devotion. Her eyes sparkled with dreams of offering her son, Max, a life unfettered by the struggles she faced. She wanted him to see possibilities beyond their modest living, to believe in a world ripe with opportunities. And here she was, unexpectedly crowned with the honor of sharing her journey at the gala. But doubt crept in like a thief in the night. Shadows of a loving yet strained relationship with her estranged father flickered through her mind. A Vietnam veteran, he was a ghost of the past, silent, distant. Would he see her? Would he judge her struggle and pull away even further? The moment she stepped onto the stage, the hum of conversations fell quiet. With trembling hands gripping the microphone, she opened her soul. Every day I fight for my son, to shield him from the harsh realities of our world. Her voice cracked, laden with emotion. She poured every ounce of her heart into her words, detailing sleepless nights and dreams forged in resilience. In that vivid space filled with bright lights, hope drifted like a warm breeze. Just as she caught fire, drawing the audience into her struggles, an ill-mannered voice laughed from the back, mocking her dreams. The laughter bounced around like a brick thrown against glass, shattering the charged atmosphere. Julia's breath hitched. She felt the stares fall on her, a million eyes judging her worth in that unforgiving moment. Her emotions surged like an ocean tide, embarrassment flooding her veins, bitterness knotting her stomach. Then, like a beacon in a storm, young Max rose from his chair. "You don't know how hard she works," he shouted, his voice tight yet unwavering. The room froze. His tiny frame, brimming with love and loyalty, stood up to the harshness of mockery. "She's my mom. She's a hero." Gasps reverberated, and some faces softened as his words painted vivid imagery of their bond. Julia's heart swelled with pride, relief washing over her. Before the applause could erupt, a weathered figure stepped forward, her father. The air thickened, tension curling around everyone like a living thing. His rugged exterior concealed years of pain and apology. With every ounce of courage, he looked at Julia and finally saw her, the woman she had become. As tears brimmed in her eyes, bewilderment rippled through the crowd. Would this be the moment of healing for father and daughter? A moment that could bridge the chasm of misunderstanding they both lived in? Just as hope flickered, uncertainty danced like a firefly. In that pulsating silence, Julia and her father stood on the precipice of connection, breathing possibility into the night. But what would unfold when love met history? The secret longings held tight, would they transform into something more? Only time would tell. The room was thick with uncertainty, the air electric. Julia's heart raced as her father's gaze fixed on her. She had dreamed of this moment, the chance to feel his pride, to finally bridge the unspoken rift between them. But would it be everything she had hoped for, or would it open wounds best left untouched? Amid the silence, the faces around them reflected back a mix of curiosity and concern. Whispers echoed softly, but the focus remained on the duo locked in an emotional standoff. Julia's mind spun wildly. What words could she find to shatter the years of silence? Her father shifted uncomfortably, hands fidgeting at his sides like nervous children. His eyes, once so distant, now glittered with something else. Regret? Longing? Could he finally express what he had kept buried for so long? "You've grown up to be amazing, Julia," he finally managed, his voice deep yet wavering. I'm proud of you." The words hung in the air, heavy and beautiful. For a moment, Julia was transported back to her childhood, remembering the man who had once been her hero. Just like that, walls began to crumble. However, the weight of unhealed wounds still loomed between them. She wanted to reach out, to say something that would pull them closer together, but the fear of rejection held her back. "Why did you leave?" The question escaped her lips before she could rein it in. It sliced through the air, more painful than she expected. The audience shifted uncomfortably, holding their breath. Her father's face fell into a grief-stricken mask. I thought you would have a better life without me. I was scared. I know now I should have fought for you, fought for us." With every word he spoke, the doubt began to lift from Julia's chest. Perhaps there was hope yet. She didn't want to remain a stranger to him, nor to deny their past. "We could still have something, can't we? We could start over, if you want." His eyes glistened with unshed tears. "I would like that. I'd like to know you, if you'll let me." Julia's heart surged. Here was the father she remembered, the one who had laughed with her, the one who would braid her hair. The tears that had threatened to spill since she stepped on stage now flowed freely. She felt the warmth of possibility wash over her, but it was tinged with fear. Could they really mend what had been broken? Max, still brimming with courage, tugged at her sleeve. "Mom, look, everyone's clapping!" And they were. A wave of applause cascaded through the crowd. It rolled over them like a warm embrace, soothing the raw edges of their moment. Julia glanced out at the audience. Their support, their acceptance, it stirred something deep within her. For the first time in years, Julia felt the weight of loneliness beginning to lift. Maybe the past didn't have to dictate her future after all. Maybe she could forge a connection anew. But just as hope began to bloom, a shadow flickered at the edge of her vision. A familiar figure stood at the back, arms crossed defiantly. Lisa, her childhood enemy, had returned with a smug smile that sent a chill down her spine. What now? Julia thought, her heart sinking. What would this encounter mean for everything she had just begun to reclaim? As tension replaced the applause, she knew more challenges awaited. Would she allow negativity to overshadow her moment? Could she truly change her story? The weight of uncertainty loomed ahead, awakening questions yet to be answered. Would love overcome the barriers of distrust, or would proof of rejection rear its head once again? Julia knew one thing for sure: her journey was only just beginning. The applause faded, leaving a heavy silence that pressed against Julia's chest. She shifted her gaze from her father to Lisa, the shadows of their shared past coming alive in that single glance. Lisa's smile was sharp, her arms crossed like a fortress, and for an instant, the warmth in the room was replaced by an icy draft. "Really? Is this the moment you want to have, Julia?" Lisa called out, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "A public reunion with Daddy dearest. How sweet." Julia's heart sank further. In that moment, all the hope she'd felt began to fray. She remembered how Lisa, with her perfect hair and perfect life, had taunted her during their school years. No matter how hard she tried to shake it off, the whisper of doubt clawed its way back in. "I'm just trying to reconnect," Julia replied, forcing out the words with a strength she didn't fully feel. "You wouldn't understand." "Had to leave your childhood behind, huh? Must be tough." Lisa stepped forward, voice rising over the murmurs from the audience. "Newsflash, running back to your dad doesn't change the past." Her words cut deep. Julia's eyes darted back to her father, seeking solace in his certainty, but there was only confusion on his face. "Julia, if you want to, you don't have to defend me," she interrupted, her voice steadier than her heart felt. "I'm not a kid anymore. I can handle this."
Max inched closer to her side, his small hand finding hers like an anchor. "Mom, why is she being mean?" His innocent question pierced through the tension, grounding Julia for a moment. With a shaky breath, she turned to face Lisa again. "Why do you care? You've always had everything. What more do you
Want from me?" Lisa scoffed, but Julia saw a flicker of something. Was it regret? "I just find it amusing," she said, trying to wield humor as a shield. "All this time, and you think you can just come back into each other's lives? You don't just erase the past." Julia's heart raced as recognition washed over her. Lisa was scared too. Scared of what this reunion represented, of losing her grip on the power dynamic they'd grown up with. Julia took a step forward, something igniting within her. "Maybe I don't want to erase it. I want to understand it. I want to know what my father's been through and how we can be better." Her words hung in the air, raw and real. She glanced at her father, who was absorbing everything with a depth of feeling Julia had never seen before. His eyes were wide, glistening with something like admiration. "Julia," he began, but she pressed on. "I'm ready to face whatever comes next, together, as a family." Lisa's face darkened, the laughter drained from her eyes. "Good luck with that," she sneered, but didn't move back. "You really think he can change? Don't kid yourself." That stung. A tremor ran through Julia's resolve. Was she really risking everything on this fragile hope? But looking at her father and the supportive faces in the crowd, something within her solidified. "I do," Julia stated firmly, her voice now resolute. "I know he can." Before Lisa could reply, someone from the audience shouted, "Let her be! This is her moment!" The tide of support rippled through the crowd, and with it, Julia felt a spark of courage igniting once more. But as Lisa retreated to the back, her smirk replaced by a mask of fury, Julia couldn't help but feel a chill run down her spine. The stakes had just been raised. She reclaimed her moment, but shadows lingered. She would have to confront the past, the pain that lingered, not just with her father, but with Lisa too. What truths still lay buried? And could she truly brave the journey ahead without losing herself once more? As the applause surged back, carrying both triumph and fear, Julia felt the weight of uncertainty on her shoulders. This was just the beginning. What would she do when past ghosts came knocking again? The applause echoed in Julia's ears, inviting her to bask in the moment she had fought for. But the glow of triumph was short-lived. The sight of Lisa retreating into the shadows stole her breath. Max squeezed her hand tighter, his trust grounding her in the stormy sea of emotions swirling around them. Julia's father shifted beside her, confusion etched across his face. "Are you okay?" he whispered, concern lining his words. She forced a nod, though the tremor in her hands betrayed her. "I will be. Just give me a minute." In seeking the warmth of his presence, she found herself looking more intently into his eyes. She could see the remnants of the man she had once idolized, but also the weight of the past resting on his shoulders. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice clearer than before. "Of course," he replied, drawing her aside. They moved to a quieter corner of the room, the chatter of guests fading into a murmur behind them. "What happened out there?" he asked gently, his eyes searching hers. "You were so brave, but why?" "It was Lisa," Julia interrupted, not wanting to dive into a detailed history just yet. She knew how to get to me. I thought I could face her, but it still stings. It makes me wonder if I'm doing the right thing, if I even know who I am anymore." Her father's brow furrowed, as if stitching a bond he had almost forgotten. "You're strong, Julia. This isn't easy. Family wounds, they run deep." He glanced around the room, his gaze distant. "I can't pretend to know the right words or actions to make this better, but I want to try, with you." Taking a deep breath, she reflected on his sincerity. But we've lost so much time. How can we build anything without honesty? He finished for her, his voice firm. I understand now that I hurt you more than I ever realized. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It's time to face everything that kept us apart. Julia's heart raced. She had spent years longing for this commitment, a desire to bridge their lives. But the shadows of disbelief and disappointment lingered. What if we're not strong enough? What if... We'll find a way, he urged, a hint of desperation in his voice. The journey ahead will be hard, but you don't have to walk it alone. You have Max, you have me. The mention of Max, the purity of his belonging, invited a wave of warm clarity. Her son had been the one to inspire her to seek healing, to venture into uncomfortable territory. Yet now, each time she thought of Lisa's insults, anger clenched her gut. Lisa always tries to act like she's won, Julia replied, her thoughts unspooling like threads. But maybe there's something I could say, something that could finally put her in her place. Not out of spite, but out of understanding. Our wounds don't heal through revenge, her father countered gently. They mend through compassion, through connection. None of us is without baggage. Maybe Lisa is struggling in ways we can't see. Julia pulled her thoughts inward, listening to the symphony of hope twining with uncertainty. Could she level with Lisa? Might there be more to the woman hiding behind her barbs? The idea unsettled her. But what if she never changes? Then it's her own battle, he said, his hand resting on her shoulder. What matters is that you're courageous enough to give yourself a chance. Time hung in the air, stretching infinitely as they both searched each other's expressions, the reality dawning that could shift their lives. Would she step into the darkness? Would she seek answers she didn't have? But before she could voice her thoughts, the room erupted in cheers. The atmosphere shifted as people began to gather around them again, enthusiastic, proud, united. Let's go back out there, Julia said finally, determination burning in her chest. Whatever happens, I want to be present. As they stepped back into the spotlight, a new thrill surged through Julia. They were stepping toward possibility, but lurking in the depths was still the unanswered question. Could she truly embrace the openness needed to face Lisa? Was she ready for the confrontation that awaited? The night was far from over. In the horizon of her heart, the past and future collided, creating a wave of uncertainty. What lay ahead was a journey she couldn't predict, but she knew one thing for sure. She had to find more than just a moment. She needed transformation. As the crowd cheered, Julia took a deep breath, ready to confront not just Lisa, but the layers of herself that still needed healing. What secrets lay in the depths of their story, and how would she navigate the turbulent waters ahead? The music swelled around them, a dance of joy echoing in the air. Julia felt a surge of energy, a palpable excitement weaving through the room. But beneath that current of celebration lay the weight of her unresolved feelings, heavy and pressing. As they walked back into the crowd, her father's presence steadied her. He whispered words of encouragement, reminding her that vulnerability was a strength, not a weakness. Max stood nearby, a beacon of innocence and unconditional support, his eyes shining with pride. In that moment, Julia knew she wasn't alone in this. Guests were mingling, laughter punctuating their conversations. Julia spotted Lisa across the room, her demeanor deceptively cheerful, engaged in a deep conversation with a few friends. The sight made Julia's heart race, not with fear, but with an urge for clarity. "What if you had the chance to speak to her?" her father asked quietly, as if reading her thoughts. "To say what you need to say?" "I'm not sure I'm ready," Julia admitted, feeling the familiar tightness in her chest. The instinct to retreat, to hide, clawed at her. Her father took a step closer. "Facing your fears often leads to freedom. Think of Max. Wouldn't you want him to face his storms head-on?" That thought ignited something within her. Yes, she wanted Max to be brave, but more importantly, she wanted to be an example of courage for him.
Okay, she breathed, glancing nervously at her father. I'll try. With every step toward Lisa, Julia's heart beat louder. The crowd faded, the sounds of celebration dimmed in favor of the single focus ahead. Lisa glanced up and spotted her, surprise flickering across her face. "Julia," she exclaimed, her smile faltering slightly. "How nice to see you here. Didn't expect you to join the party after, you know."
"Lisa," Julia managed, her voice steadier than she felt. "Can we talk?" The challenge hung in the air as Lisa raised an eyebrow, then glanced back to her friends. "Sure, if you want to," she replied, but there was a hint of guardedness in her tone. They stepped aside to a quieter corner of the room, leaving behind the cheerful chaos. Julia took a moment, searching for the right words. "I've always felt like we've had this tension between us," she started, her hands trembling slightly. "I want to understand." Lisa crossed her arms, a defensive posture creeping in. "You want to understand? You mean after all this time?" "Yes," Julia put forth, her heart pounding. "I realize now that whatever this is, it's been heavy on both of us. I've felt hurt, and I know you have too. I want to break this cycle." For a moment, the air between them crackled with possibility. Julia's vulnerability seemed to radiate, wrapping around them like a fragile thread. Lisa's expression shifted from defiance to contemplation, and Julia held her breath, waiting for a response. "What exactly do you want from me?" Lisa asked, her voice softer now. Julia's stomach flipped at the shifting dynamic. "To start from a place of honesty, I want to believe there's more to us than the history we've had," she urged, her voice strained but hopeful. Lisa's shoulders relaxed slightly, the tension easing. "You really think we can change things?" "I have to believe it," Julia replied, her heart racing with hope and fear. "For myself, for you, for everyone who's been caught in this. For Max." The small crowd surrounding them faded into the background. It was just the two of them now. Two women trying to navigate a sea of hurt and misunderstanding. Julia sensed the moment was fragile, yet transformative. But Julia also felt a flicker of doubt creep in. What if none of this changes anything? What if we're just wasting our time? Before Lisa could respond, a familiar voice broke in. Their mutual friend Sarah joined them, eyes wide with curiosity. "What's going on here? You two look intense." The tension snapped back into the air, and Julia's heart sank. Reality crashed in, reminding her how precarious this moment felt. As Sarah engaged them in casual conversation, Julia's thoughts raced. Did she have the courage to confront these emotions? Did Lisa? Or were they merely stepping back into their old patterns, letting the moment slip away? With every distraction, each heartbeat brought new waves of uncertainty. Julia looked to Lisa, hoping for a sign that the connection could be salvaged, a glimpse of understanding. But as the laughter surrounded them, a question pressed at the back of her mind. Was she truly ready to break down the walls and invite healing into the cracks of their past? The answer hung in the air, tantalizing yet just out of reach, like a shimmering possibility dancing on the horizon, waiting for her to take the leap. Julia's heart raced as Sarah chatted away, oblivious to the delicate balance shifting between her and Lisa. The laughter around them felt like a wall, separating them from the vulnerability they had just begun to share. Julia's mind fought against the intoxicating pull of fear, clawing at her with memories of past misunderstandings. "Julia, you in there?" Sarah waved her hand in front of her face, snapping her back to the present. Julia blinked, forcing a smile, but her gut twisted. "Yeah, sorry, just lost in thought." She glanced at Lisa, who had moved back a step, retreating into a rigid posture, arms crossed tightly. The moment felt like slipping grains of sand through her fingers. "Great party, huh?" Sarah's voice was bright, but Julia couldn't focus on anything other than the tension wrapped around her and Lisa. Each word felt like glue, binding them into silence instead of bridging the gap. "Definitely," Lisa interjected, glancing around, her smile now stretched and tight. I should probably catch up with the others." "Wait!" Julia's voice cut through the noise, desperate to hold on to this tiny spark of hope. Can we at least agree to talk later? Maybe about everything? Lisa hesitated, her gaze flickering between Julia and Sarah. Sure, I guess. The word hung in the air between them, a delicate promise that felt like an unresolved chord. As Lisa turned away, intent on rejoining the festivities, Julia felt a mix of relief and dread. It's good to see you talking again, Sarah nudged, keeping the mood light. Right, progress. Yeah, progress, Julia murmured, her eyes still on Lisa's retreating figure. A whirlwind of thoughts swirled in her mind. Was it really progress if it felt so shaky? Want to grab something to eat? Sarah suggested, playfully elbowing Julia. Julia nodded, even if her heart wasn't in it. As they moved through the mingling guests, she couldn't shake the feeling that their moment had slipped away, perhaps forever. Max came bounding toward them, his little face lit up with laughter, a foamy drink in hand. "Mom, look, I got a cool drink!" he exclaimed, the innocent joy radiating from him. "Hey, buddy!" Julia's voice brightened, if only for him. She knelt to meet his eyes, ruffling his hair. "Looks like you're having fun. I love this party. Everyone is so happy." His enthusiasm had a way of lifting her spirits, but she couldn't help feeling torn. "You know what, Max? You're right. Let's just enjoy it." But under the surface, Julia was fighting a storm. How could she enjoy the celebration when her heart felt heavy? As they moved through the crowd, Julia's eyes followed Lisa, who seemed to grow more distant. The laughter felt hollow, and the music faded into background noise. "Are you okay, Mom?" Max's voice pulled her back to the moment, filled with concern. "Yeah, just thinking about some stuff," Julia replied, forcing a smile. "Like about Lisa?" Max didn't miss a beat. "How did you—" Julia started, but Max shrugged, looking up at her with those wise blue eyes. I can feel it. You're worried." It struck her how he could see the cracks in her facade so easily. Her heart swelled with pride, mixed with frustration at how perceptive he was. "I guess I just want everything to be okay, you know?" "I think it will be," he said, a confidence in his voice that almost steadied her. "Do you really think so?" "Yeah, you always say we can fix things if we try, just like when I drop my toys." Julia chuckled lightly, realizing how right he was. "I do say that, don't I? Maybe I need to take my own advice." The thought sparked something in her. She needed more than just a moment. She needed a plan, something to beat back the doubts and rekindle the possibility with Lisa. As the evening wore on, Julia walked the line between hope and hesitation. The excitement of the evening was now undercut with the weight of decisions yet to be made. Would Lisa be open to the idea of a new start, or would the knot between them tighten once more? Just as she settled into a bit of confidence, she spotted Lisa again, standing alone for a moment, gazing out at the crowd, lost in thought. "Hiding again, Lisa?" The voice of a new acquaintance teased, breaking her reverie. Julia's heart skipped a beat. Would this be another missed opportunity, or could it be the moment she and Lisa truly began again? Taking a deep breath, she edged closer, determination guiding her feet. Was she ready to dive back in, or would she hang back, allowing another chance to slip away? The night crackled with unanswered questions, and Julia could only hope that when she reached Lisa, they would find the words that had eluded them for so long. Or would they falter once more, trapped in a cycle too deep to escape? Julia's determination propelled her forward, weaving through the clusters of guests. With each step, confidence surged within her, pushing aside the storm of uncertainty. She could feel the music pulsing beneath her feet, but her heart drummed a different rhythm, one painted in hope and fear. Lisa stood to the side, a shadow against the vibrant backdrop of the party. Her arms still hugged her torso, a protective shell that Julia instinctively wanted to breach. Julia's stomach twisted at the sight. Was Lisa trying to hide, or was she merely holding her ground? "Hey, Julia," called out softly, her voice almost swallowed by the cheerful din. Lisa turned, surprise flickering across her features before she replaced it with a polite smile. I didn't think you'd come over. Couldn't resist, Julia replied, taking another step closer. Mind if we talk for a minute? Sure, Lisa said, though her guarded demeanor didn't shift. She stepped aside, motioning for them to move further away from the bubbling crowd. As they drifted into a quieter corner, the noise faded to a soothing hum. Julia's heart raced. This was the moment she'd been waiting for. I've been thinking about us, she began, her words tumbling out before she could second-guess herself. Us? Lisa echoed, her brow furrowing slightly. Yeah, I know it's been tough between us. I miss what we had. The admission hung in the air, fragile and shimmering with nostalgia. I miss it too, Lisa confessed, looking down. Her fingers absent-mindedly played with the fabric of her dress, a habit Julia recognized from their past. There it was, a crack in the barrier. Really? You do? Julia felt a rush of warmth, but the hesitation still lingered in Lisa's eyes. I don't know how to move forward. It's complicated. Julia's heart ached. I get that, but we can figure it out together. It doesn't have to stay complicated. Lisa looked up, a flicker of vulnerability breaking through. It feels so different now. What if it doesn't work? What if we just hurt each other again? Julia's breath caught. It might not work, but we'll never know unless we try. And I want to at least give it a shot. We owe it to ourselves, don't we? The silence stretched thin between them. Julia's heart pounded. The stakes were rising with each moment that ticked by. She was taking a leap, and she needed Lisa to join her. Can we start with just talking? Lisa finally asked, her voice unsteady. Yes, I'd love that, Julia said, exhaling the breath she didn't realize she had been holding. Relief washed over her, but it came hand in hand with a fresh wave of nerves. Would they end up tangled in deeper misunderstandings? Or could this conversation become a bridge to a renewed connection? Just then, Max's laughter pierced through their moment. He ran up, eyes shining. Mom, come see what I found. Lisa's gaze softened as she looked at Max, a genuine smile forming on her lips. Hey, buddy. Julia knelt down, but her eyes stayed on Lisa. You remember Lisa, right? Yeah, Max grinned. Is she going to be our friend again? Julia's heart stumbled over the unexpected weight of his innocent question. Could they be friends again? Or was this the first step to something deeper? Lisa glanced at Max, then back at Julia, her expression filling with warmth and uncertainty. I hope so, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Julia felt the hope flicker brighter between them. Then let's start there, together. As they pulled together in that unspoken pact, Julia felt a surge of faith course through her, a belief that they could navigate this tangled web. Yet, as the laughter and music swirled around them, one question lingered in her mind. Was this truly just the beginning? Or would they find themselves facing the same trials that had once torn them apart? Julia straightened up, her heart still racing, as she smiled at Max, who bounced off the balls of his feet, unaware of the deeper conversation swirling around him. The innocent joy in his laughter lightened the moment between Julia and Lisa, like a burst of sunlight piercing through dark clouds. Look, I found a cool rock, Max exclaimed, holding out a small, glittering stone that caught the ambient light. It was the kind of rock a child would treasure, full of wonder and potential. Julia couldn't help but think of how much like that rock their relationship felt. Beautiful, yet fragile, waiting for the right moment to shine. That is so cool. Lisa knelt beside him, her protector's shell cracking further. Did you find it outside? Yeah, it was kinda shiny, so I thought you might like it, Lisa. Max's sincerity pulled a smile from them both. Julia felt a warmth settle within her breast. Maybe they could piece together something new, with patience and care. You've got an eye for treasure, buddy. As Lisa looked up at Julia, her expression was softer now, less guarded. You know, he has a way of bringing people together, she said, a hint of admiration leaking into her voice. Julia nodded, feeling the weight of their shared history, good memories swirling amidst the more chaotic past. He really does. Kids see things differently, don't they? Yeah, they do, Lisa replied, standing straight and brushing some invisible dust from her dress. They remind us what's important. For a moment, they were lost in each other's eyes, caught in a current of understanding and unspoken words. The buzz of the party faded into the background, and all that was left was their connection, a delicate thread they both yearned to mend. Just then, the party host, a flamboyant figure named Tony, burst into their space, a wide grin splitting his face. "Julia, Lisa, come on! We're about to play the anniversary game. You both gotta join." His exuberance was contagious, and despite the tension, Julia felt a flutter of excitement at the prospect of laughter to come. Max jumped in delight. "Let's go, please!" As they followed Tony, Julia's heart raced anew, caught somewhere between anxiety and exhilaration. Laughter filled the air as guests started gathering around, forming a circle. "Do you think we should partner up?" Julia asked Lisa, her voice tinged with hope and uncertainty. I think that could work," Lisa replied, a shy smile beginning to form. The shift was palpable, like the first pulse of dawn after a long night. "Just remember, no matter what happens," Max said, looking seriously at both women, "we're in this together." The simplicity of his words wrapped around Julia like a warm blanket. Perhaps that was the key. Together. As the first challenge began, a donut-eating race, where players were blindfolded and had to find their treat without using their hands, Julia couldn't help but laugh. Each bite sent sugary crumbs flying, and soon there was laughter erupting. From every corner of the circle, Lisa's laughter was a sweet symphony, and Julia felt lightness in her chest that she hadn't known in years. "Okay, Lisa, you've got this," Julia cheered, holding Lisa's hand tightly as they both dove into the challenge. Their unsteady laughs mingled, turning the laughter into something more, something healing. As the game carried on, a brief pause fell over the crowd, and Julia's gaze drifted toward Lisa. The laughter had faded, replaced by contemplation as they caught each other's eyes. What were they building here? Just fleeting moments of joy, or the foundation for something lasting? A sudden truth loomed over Julia. This was the first real chance they had to write a new chapter together, and she needed to take that chance. Before she could hesitate, she whispered, "No matter where this goes, I want you to know I'm in it for the long haul." Lisa's eyes sparkled, yet shadows of doubt flitted across her features. What if that's not enough? Julia felt a chill run through her. Would they find the strength they'd need to face the past? As they reached for each other amid the festive chaos, another challenge awaited them. This one demanded more than just laughter. It would test their hearts in ways they hadn't expected. What lay ahead would determine everything. Would they rise to the occasion together, or would the shadows of their past loom larger than their hopes for a bright future? The next challenge was called Blind Trust, and Max beamed with excitement as they explained it. Each pair would be blindfolded, and one partner would lead the other through a series of obstacles set up in the yard. Julia felt her heart rate quicken. This was more than just a game. It felt symbolic. Could they trust each other enough to navigate their uncertain relationship? "Ready!" Tony shouted, drawing everyone's attention. Julia closed her eyes as Lisa put the blindfold around her head, the darkness swallowing everything familiar. She could hear the laughter around them, but now it felt distant, like a melody being played in another room. "Okay, Lisa, just guide me," Julia said, her voice steady but laced with trepidation. "Don't worry, I promise I won't let you fall," Lisa assured her. Julia felt a flutter in her stomach at those words, a strange mix of hope and anxiety. "Go left," Max yelled, adding to the chaos, excitement bubbling through him. His enthusiasm dragged both women into the moment, and soon they began to move. As they stepped forward, Julia focused on Lisa's voice, trusting it fully. "Step up, now down," Lisa directed carefully, her tone soothing yet assertive. Each command felt like a bridge being built, their connection growing stronger with every step.
but suddenly, Julia stumbled over a small chair set in their path. She gasped, panic creeping in. "I can't see, Lisa." Her voice trembled. "You've got this, Julia. Just listen to me." Lisa's voice was steady, a calm oasis in
A storm. Julia let a small breath out, and with it, the fear melted slightly. "Just a little further. You're doing great," Lisa encouraged, and Julia could almost feel the warmth radiating from her. Gradually, Julia's heart rate began to align with an unspoken rhythm of trust. With each step guided by Lisa, the past felt less daunting. This wasn't just about obstacles, it was about vulnerability and the leap of faith they needed. "Okay, you're almost there," Lisa squeaked with excitement. Julia felt the end of the challenge and the cheering crowd beyond, but it was Lisa's words that anchored her. "Step down," Lisa guided. Julia complied, grounding herself, and felt the familiarity of solid ground beneath her feet. The blindfold slipped off and light flooded back into her vision. As her eyes adjusted, she met Lisa's welcoming gaze. Pure happiness shimmered in Lisa's face, igniting something deep within Julia. All fears of the past fell away as they were both immediately engulfed by laughter and applause. That moment, so cathartic yet vulnerable, felt like a turning point, not just in the game, but in their lives. Julia's eyes shone with joy. "I couldn't have done it without you." Lisa stepped closer, their hands brushing together, igniting sparks of possibility. "Maybe we can navigate more together, better?" Max threw his arms around both of them, making a big circle of love, and with that embrace, Julia let go of the weight on her heart. They all laughed together, and for the first time in a long time, Julia felt a surge of hope. But a sudden thought crashed over her, a sobering wave of reality. What if this was just a moment? What if fleeting joy didn't translate into lasting change? As the next challenge was announced, Julia's heart sank a little. Were they truly ready to confront everything beneath the surface? The loud shrieks of excitement around them faded as she mulled over the lingering question in her heart. Would they have the courage to tackle their past? Or would they retreat to safety, allowing vulnerability to slip away once more? The next game was calling, and so was the larger truth that awaited them. Would they take the risk? Julia stood amidst the swirling chaos of laughter, applause, and excitement, her heart brimming with a mix of hope and fear. This was a turning point, and the thrill of what lay ahead sent shivers down her spine. The next challenge was upon them, yet in her heart, she sensed the real challenge would be outside of the games, not within them. "All right, everyone, the next challenge is a trust fall," Tony announced, the crowd erupting into cheers. "Pairs, get ready to demonstrate your bond." Julia's breath hitched. Would she and Lisa embrace this moment? The past loomed in her mind, casting shadows that threatened her resolve. Trust was not just a word, but a leap. Could they catch each other when the time came? Max tugged at Julia's. Max, his little face a mask of excitement. "Mom, you can do it! You and Lisa are getting along!" Julia looked at her son, and for a fleeting moment, the weight of her fears lightened. "You're right, we can do this." She turned to Lisa, determination igniting in her chest. "Are you ready?" Lisa nodded, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. But there was something new beneath it, a willingness to try. "Let's do it." They stepped forward, the crowd's applause fading as the air thickened with anticipation. Julia placed her hands on her hips, willing confidence to surge through her. This was a chance to show that they could embrace vulnerability together. As they moved to the front of the crowd, Julia turned to face away from Lisa. "Okay, I'm going to fall back. I trust you," she declared. Lisa's voice trembled as she responded. "I'll catch you, I promise." With a deep breath, Julia released her center of gravity, leaning back into the void. For a heartbeat, fear coursed through her like lightning. But then she felt the solid grip of Lisa's arms wrapping around her, holding her firm against the lingering past. "Oh my gosh, you did it!" Lisa exclaimed. exhilaration lacing her words as they both staggered to regain their balance. The crowd erupted in applause, shouts of encouragement cascading over them. Julia turned to face Lisa, emotions bubbling up within her. "I did it! We did it!" For the first time, the walls of doubt that had encased their relationship began to fracture. "What else can we do together?" Lisa asked, her eyes sparkling with newfound joy. "Whatever it takes to keep this going," Julia replied, her voice steady. But as the cheers continued to echo, Julia felt the moment shift. There would be more challenges ahead, one that would demand their courage beyond the gala's festivities. The games were playful, but the realities and complexities of rebuilding their past weren't so simple. "Let's continue building, Lisa," Julia said, her heart racing with both excitement and fear. Together. They stepped back into the crowd, laughter and joy enveloping them. But Julia's heart still carried the questions of what lay ahead. Could they maintain this energy beyond the entertaining shenanigans? Lisa's presence felt different now, more open, more trusting. Yet how would they face the intricacies of their shared history that still lingered? Max, with joyous innocence, pulled them both forward. "Time for the next game, right?" Julia caught another glimpse of the light in Lisa's eyes and felt her heart swell with hope. "Yes, buddy, let's trust our strength." As they joined the crowd again, Julia knew their journey was only just beginning. With every challenge they faced together, they were weaving a tapestry of strength and forgiveness. Changed shadows of the past would cling to their heels, but hand in hand with Lisa and Max, they would become the architects of a brighter future. Just like the flickering fairy lights above the gala, they would shine brighter together. And as they ventured further into the revelry, Julia couldn't shake the exhilarating thought that this was their moment to embrace transformation head-on. The evening echoed with laughter, but the path ahead beckoned them with its intricate web of challenges. Would they rise to meet it? Only time would tell. But in that moment, with the warmth of trust wrapping around them like a cozy blanket, Julia knew she was ready to face whatever came next. Now, dear friends, this is your moment too. You need to subscribe now to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like right this second to feed the algorithm and spread the joy. Comment below and share your feelings about this powerful ending. And don't wait, not even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this story of transformation.